Hi, it's Sylvester, and I have addressed this in the past, but I don't think I've ever actually just sat down and made a real apology. I've always been quite defensive, and I'm probably still going to come off as defensive in this video because I really feel like my actions were very out of character, and I don't feel like they represent who I see myself as and who I envision myself to be. But the fact is that I did say and do some pretty misogynistic stuff on this channel and on my previous channel, and I do want to address it. I would call women catty and petty and gossipy, and I would do this impression of women where I would speak in this exaggerated, almost Valley Girl kind of accent, and I would act like a caricature of women. I would act like a stereotypical mean girl, and it was a very mean spirited, not very flattering impression of women, and that's not indicative of how I see women. At the time, I was just very angry, and I put that anger onto women because I'd been hurt by a few women in my life, and so I took that hurt and that pain and that anger and I projected it onto all women, and it was not fair and it was not right and it was not okay. And like I said, it's not who I am. I do consider myself to be a feminist. At the time when I said these things and when I did those impressions, I was experiencing pretty extreme psychosis. I know that that doesn't make it right, that doesn't excuse it, but that is an explanation at least for like the fact that it wasn't really me, like it was me. I did those things, but it's not like who I really see myself as. Like I was in a very different and bad state of mind at the time. I was not acting like myself. If and again, this sounds like I'm making excuses, and I am. It sounds like I'm being very defensive, and I am, because the thing is, as a trans man, I have some experience of understanding what it's like to be a woman in this world. I mean, I've never been a woman, not really, but I've spent like 25 years of my life thinking I was and being treated like I was. And I experienced a great deal of sexism, and I considered myself to be a really big feminist. In like the mid 2010s, I was like huge into feminism, and even women would tell me that like feminism wasn't cool. And I know feminism's still not cool, but back then it was especially not cool being a feminist, being a social justice warrior, being somebody who cared about social issues was super not cool, and I got made fun of and I got torn down by a lot of people because I was really into feminism. But I just, it mattered a lot to me because I experienced sexism firsthand. And so to go from that to being somebody who now has to publicly apologize because I said sexist things, it really makes me feel ashamed. I'm very ashamed. The way I spoke about women was very shameful because again, it doesn't represent how I actually feel about women. I don't hate women, and I do have some degree of understanding of what it's like to be a woman in this world, and I know that it is incredibly difficult and women face a ton of discrimination and sexism, and it's just not fair, and it is not okay that I contributed to that sexism. It is not okay that I said and did the things that I said and did. It's not okay. And I am sorry, and I hope that you're able to forgive me. If not, I understand. That's up to you. I can't force anyone to forgive me. I can't force anyone to not be upset with the things I said because I did say those things and I am holding myself accountable, and I understand that part of accountability is understanding that sometimes people aren't going to want to forgive you and they're not going to want to have anything to do with you, and that is okay. You know? And yeah, I just wanted to say, I had been, again, I'm defending myself. I'm giving excuses, but I had been hurt by a few women in my life, and I took that pain and I took that anger and I put that on all women instead of just being upset with these specific women who had hurt me. I hated all women. And it's not even that I hated women, it's just that I had problems with women because of the way I had been treated by women in my past. And yeah, that's wrong. You know, again, there are no excuses. I am being defensive because I really don't want people to think that I'm a sexist because I really don't feel like I am. Do I have internalized sexism? Absolutely. I feel like I grew up in a sexist society and it's hard for me to not have a little bit of internalized sexism. But do I stand by the things that I said? Absolutely not. Were the things that I said indicative of the person that I am? I don't believe so. Again, I was not acting like myself at the time. I was experiencing psychosis. I was very angry with the world and everybody in it, and I just wanted to watch the world burn, and I didn't care if I hurt people. I didn't care if what I said was harmful. I didn't care if I hurt people's feelings. It didn't matter because I was just angry with the world and in so much pain. And so again, I am sorry. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.